Hello everyone, welcome to GNU according to CD, that is Government of National Unity. So guys, here we are again. You know, I always said that if a green, white and green person comes in my comment section and challenges me to prove or show evidence or whatever, and they go on to say, you South Africans are jealous, you South Africans are envious, you South Africans are lazy. You South Africans are mumus. You South Africans this. You South Africans that. You South Africans get a job. And you're like, oh my goodness. The sense of accountability does not exist. I doubt that these people even know how to spell accountability. But yeah, it's fine. I always said that when you are going to challenge me like this, I'm going to pull out videos of your people, what they are doing, not only in South Africa, but elsewhere around the world. Because this is the same thing that you tell British people. This is the same thing you tell African Americans. This is the same thing you tell Canadians. They are lazy. They are jealous. They are this and they are that. And you never look at yourself. Why did you even leave your own country and go to someone else's country and accuse them of laziness? How did you see that they are lazy? Because you're supposed to be back home fixing your country and demonstrating this cleverness, this excellence, this hardworking, this entrepreneurial skills and business mindedness. Your country, use that to build your country, not go and build somebody else's country with that skill. Oh, America, you know how many doctors that are in America? No. How many doctors that green, white, and green have that are working in Nigeria? Don't tell me about Nigerian doctors in the US. Tell me about doctors in Nigeria, the differences that they are making to the Nigerian people. That is what I want to hear. Those that are there in America, they are cowards. They ran away from their country. And now they are doctors in someone else's land and building that country's economy, not your country's economy. That's not something to be proud of. That is something to be really, really ashamed of. I even saw somebody says, do you know how many Nigerians that are in Ivy League schools? And I'm like, South Africa has an equivalent of Ivy schools here in South Africa, including universities. If I may mention them, the University of Witwatersrand, Stellenbosch University, UCT, UKZN. Those are Ivy League equivalents of Harvard, Princeton, you name them. So don't tell me how many Nigerians are in Ivy League schools in other countries. How many Ivy League schools are in Nigeria? How many Ivy schools are universities in Nigeria? Don't tell me about Nigerians that are Ivy schools in other people's countries, because those countries, they built that standard on their own. So it's shameful to even brag about things like that. If you are clever, yes, be clever in your country. If people are to be jealous of you, let's look at your country and say, wow, Nigeria is thriving. My goodness, Nigeria is doing so well. I'm so envious. Don't say I'm envious of you in my country. How does that work? That's lack of accountability right there. But let me not speak too much. Let me show you this video of how your people are doing in South Africa. Yeah, just see how your people are doing in South Africa. This is the evidence that you asked for, and I am giving it to you. There you go.
South Africa, known for its diverse culture and rich history, is also facing a growing challenge, one that is rooted beyond its borders. In recent years, Nigerian crime syndicates have gained a formidable foothold in the country's major cities like Johannesburg, Pretoria, Durban, and Cape Town, transforming the criminal landscape. But how did this happen? And what does it mean for the future of South Africa? The roots of Nigerian crime syndicates in South Africa can be traced back to the late 1980s and early 1990s. After the fall of apartheid in 1994, South Africa became a popular destination for Nigerians looking to leave Nigeria, with gangs soon rising to prominence on the local crime scene. All of this happened while Nigeria was facing its own challenges, that included political instability and economic downturns. As a result, many Nigerians migrated to South Africa in search of better opportunities. However, with limited economic prospects, some turned to illicit activities to survive. Firstly, they specialized in cocaine. Their portfolio later diversified. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Nigerian crime syndicates had established themselves in major South African cities, particularly in Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town. These groups became heavily involved in drug trafficking, primarily dealing in heroin and cocaine, as well as human trafficking, fraud, and money laundering. Their operations are sophisticated and often involve collaboration with local criminal networks, making them difficult for law enforcement to dismantle. Take the case of Ponty City, otherwise known as the Vodacom building that's near Hillbrow in Johannesburg. This was once a desirable and sought-after apartment building with beautiful views overlooking the city, its own mall, and even a bowling alley. But as Hillbrow became more crime-infested, people moved out, and it had become a drug-infested building where brothels ran by Nigerian pimps and addicts occupied the space. It became a place where you could buy anything from heroin to stolen guns, thanks to the new landlords who hijacked the building, which were the Nigerian mafia. The conditions in that building went from bad to worse.
There was no control, and most of the buildings started to deteriorate, and the buildings started to become havens of criminals.
Nigerians, 90% Bishalala, Bonga Nigerians. Those Nigerians, they are my drugs, prostitute, Yongi Indonji, Enzeke.
Hillbrow was a stronghold of the Nigerian mafias for decades, and their presence can still be felt in the streets. In fact, to this day, old apartment buildings are still being hijacked by local gangs working with Nigerian mafias, and residents are made to pay ridiculous amounts of money for rent. The rise of Nigerian crime syndicates has had a profound impact on South African communities. Drug addiction rates have soared, particularly among the youth.
I hope that was evident enough for you. Yeah, this is what South Africans are jealous of, envious of, lazy of, moo of, and all. How is this supposed to be anything good, to be praised, to look up to? When you go to somebody else's land and destroy that country, destroy the future of the children of that country, and then you turn around and you call me your brother. How do you call me your brother when you are killing your nephews and nieces? Let's talk about that. How is this Pan-African or Pan-Africanist or whatever the shit it's called? How is that Pan-Africanism? How is that brothers? We are brothers. How are we brothers when you are killing my children? When you are killing my community? How is that brotherhood? I just want to know. How is this to be envied, to be jealous of? How is this hard work? They may come back home and lie to you that, like, yeah, in South Africa, I run a business. It's very funny as well. Have you ever noticed how Nigerians, when they are caught, they will say, I run a legit business? Why don't you just say, I run a business? And then if you are asked about the business, then you are able to say, oh, I have a tech company, or I have a furniture making shop. Instead of saying, I have a legitimate business, I've been doing legitimate business. Why do you must put that legit part when you know that you are an innocent and also contributing member, not even a member because you're not a South African, but a contributing immigrant in the South African economy? How is that? How is that? Do you see what your people do when they go to not just South Africa? I mean, if you're watching videos of Poland, you watch videos of Germany, Denmark, Sweden, now it's Canada, who are now beginning to say, hold up, what did we do in 2020? What did we do to ourselves in 2020? And then you look at countries like the USA. Oh yeah, the Venezuelans are doing the US dirty. Dirty. They have formed themselves into dangerous gangs that left Venezuela to the US. And guess when they arrived in the US, what did they label themselves as? Asylum seekers. Yeah. Today, they are terrorizing Americans. And then you are saying Americans are lazy. Oh, let me forget about Americans. Let's talk about us. You guys attack us of being lazy. You attack us of being jealous. You attack us of being muumuus. You attack in every. It looks like that is the only thing that you people know. Throwing shade that is not even sunshine lighted. There's no shade to be thrown because at the end of the day, your country still a shithole. It's still a shithole at the end of the day. So why are you then you think that we would be jealous of you when you are not in your own country. No, build your country to a standard where the world will be envious of it. You see, if you look at Dubai, where you guys love going to for vacation and whatever, look at Dubai. That is something to be envious of, right? But of course, South Africa itself, it's a country to be envious of. That is why you keep flocking here and you want to destroy us, because you are envious and you are jealous of our progress and the way we are doing things. You are very jealous of that. So now you try to turn the table on us, and yet this is what you do in South Africa. Again, not all Nigerians are like this. I can attest to that. Not all Nigerians are like this. There are Nigerians that do legitimate business. You see, I can say the word legitimate because I have seen it with my own eyes. Some of whom, they went to university, and South Africa said, hey, because that skill we wanted, would you like to take naturalization citizenship? And they did. And they are running businesses in South Africa, legitimate businesses. What, it's so simple doing the right thing. It's so simple because the right thing gets rewarded. I just told you there were Nigerians in South Africa. They went to South African universities because of the skill that they acquired and the qualification they acquired in South Africa. South Africa extended an invitation for them to remain in South Africa, to build the economy of South Africa. And they said yes. And today they are South African citizens. You see, because they were doing the right thing. Do the right thing when you go to Europe. Do the right thing when you go to Canada. Do the right thing when you go to the USA. Do the right thing when you go to Ireland, etc. and so on. All these places that you guys run away to. Do the right thing and you are going to be recognized for it. Don't go to destroy and disrespect the laws and the citizens of that country. It doesn't work like that, and it'll never work like that. Just because you guys are trolls amongst yourselves in your country, so much so that you became professionals in it, doesn't mean that you have to go out now, because you keep running away and you will still run away. You will still run away. And when you do run away, stop trolling the people of that country, because they are going to revolt against you and kick you out. And you'll be back there where you learned how to be a professional troll. And you'll be crying, hey, people don't like us. Hey, why people don't like us? Hey, why these people don't like us? And you forget your actions. You don't hold yourselves accountable. I am so happy that there are Nigerians that are popping up that are holding Nigerians accountable. And what I love about it is that they first look at themselves and say, for the longest time, I was in denial. I was defending a wrong thing. But now I have opened my eyes and I'm realizing the world is kicking us out because of few bad apples. And they are now fighting back. And now guess what? They're getting pushed back from their own people, calling them traitors, the leakers, and all of that. It goes to show that accountability doesn't exist. They still want to go and troll other countries and put in jeopardy the people that are already here. You are busy saying, oh, you must never challenge us. Yeah, the last thing that you want to do is challenge a Nigerian in a banter. And then you forget that outside of you where you are, there are your people living in communities of the countries that you are busy challenging, making it very difficult for them. And because of your mouth, we are pressing pressure here on your people that are here to leave. South Africa has become this small for them. They are uncomfortable. Some of them have begun to voluntarily leave South Africa because of the discomfort that they're experiencing. Why? Because of your mouth back home. So continue doing it. The more you do it, the more we put pressure. Do it. I always told you guys, what South Africans want, South Africans get. Period.